My parents called me an errand girl and mocked my career in estate and portfolio management, while handing my sister full ownership to the family restaurant's business I dedicated most of my life to. 5 months later, the news of my $5 million contract breakthrough was met with a desperate text message from my dad: "The family business needs you right now." As I typed my response, what I discovered made me realize karma truly shows respect to no one. Stay tuned to discover how things turn around simply by believing in myself. My name is Kimberly, and I am 28 years old, the eldest of two daughters, the one my family tags as a disappointing daughter. My parents made sure I knew this since I was 18. They adored my younger sister Lauren, worshipped her actually. "We finally got things right with her," my mother would say at family gatherings. "After having Kimberly, we were so glad Lauren came along." All because I chose a career I was passionate about: estate management, portfolio management for high net worth individuals and corporate clients. Not the career they wanted for me. Not prestigious enough in their eyes. Not impressive enough to brag about at dinner parties. But I am the type that developed my mind not to settle for the ordinary or norms. I challenged myself to be different, but it came with a price. My parents poured everything into Lauren: money for her education, connections for her career, support for every idea and ambition she had, while I got nothing. No investment, no support, no belief. I didn't complain. I focused on building my own path. My family saw me only at important family events, a few hours here and there, because I was always working, always busy building a life they refused to believe in. Lauren treated me like we were mates, disrespected me whenever she wanted. My parents not only allowed it, they encouraged it. She would mock my work, make jokes about my career, belittle everything I did, and they would laugh along with her. My parents owned a family restaurant, 2 branches. They provided catering services for events. It was their pride and joy. Despite their hostility towards me, one day my father called me. His voice was strained, urgent. "The business needs emergency funding, an unforeseen crisis. I need your help." I thought maybe this was it. Maybe he was finally seeing me, finally valuing what I had built. I gave him the money, a substantial amount, enough to save the business from whatever crisis they were facing. I thought I was helping. Thought this was a turning point and maybe they had finally changed. 2 weeks later, my mother called. "We're having a family dinner, very important. You must come." I had a meeting scheduled with a major client, but my mother insisted. "This is crucial, Kimberly. Family business, you need to be there." I canceled my meeting, drove to their house, walked into what I thought would be a reconciliation dinner. Maybe gratitude for saving their business. We sat down, started eating. The atmosphere felt tense, but I assumed it was just my father's stress about the business crisis. Halfway through the meal, my father set down his fork. "I have an announcement." I looked up. "I'm transferring full ownership of the company to Lauren. Starting today." He pushed documents across the table toward me, like he wanted me to see the official paperwork, like he wanted me to witness my own erasure. Lauren was smiling. She already knew. This whole dinner was planned. My mother added her part. "It's time for you to support your sister Kimberly. You can work under her if you behave well." They said it with straight faces. No irony. No acknowledgement of what they were doing and how exactly it is meant to make me feel. I had never depended on the family business. I had built my own career, my own client base, my own success path. But the insult cut deeper than any financial loss. I had done everything for that restaurant. While building my career, I still made time, showed up when they needed extra hands, helped with events, juggled my internship and their catering needs. Lauren had spent those same years touring countries, claiming she was on a journey to become an international chef, taking their money, contributing nothing. And now they had taken my emergency funding. used it to save a business they were giving to the daughter who had done nothing to earn it. I stood up calmly, refused to let them see me break. I see. Thank you for dinner. Lauren couldn't resist her parting shot. Maybe now you'll submit your CV somewhere and stop being an errand girl pretending to be a manager. I smiled and decided not to trade words with her ignorance. I refused to argue, didn't defend myself, didn't give them the satisfaction of a reaction. I just left. Drove home in silence, hands steady on the wheel, face calm. Inside, I was calculating, processing, planning. They had no idea what I actually did. No idea who my clients were, no idea what portfolios I managed or what deals I was negotiating. They thought I ran errands for wealthy people, thought I was some kind of personal assistant with a fancy title. The reality was so far from their perception it would have been funny if it were not so insulting. I managed investment portfolios for high net worth individuals, handled estate planning for wealthy families, consulted on property acquisitions and asset allocation. I had 3 major clients whose portfolios I had been carefully positioning for the past 5 months, investments worth tens of millions, returns that were about to materialize in ways that would change my life completely. And I had a deal in negotiation with a major private banking firm. They wanted me to manage their stock portfolios and provide expert consultation on their property holdings. A $5 million contract, on the verge of being finalized. But my parents thought I was an errand girl, and they had just shown me exactly where I stood in their family hierarchy. I went home that night and opened my laptop. Checked the portfolio updates for my 3 biggest clients. The investments I had positioned them in 5 months ago were performing exactly as I had projected. Better, actually. The numbers were extraordinary. My phone buzzed with a message from the senior partner at the private banking firm. "Let's finalize the deal. Call me tomorrow." I smiled in the darkness of my apartment. My parents thought they had put me in my place, thought they had shown me my insignificance, thought they had won some kind of victory by giving everything to Lauren. They had no idea that in a few weeks, everything they had just done would come back to haunt them. Because the errand girl they had just humiliated was about to become wealthier than they could imagine, and they were about to face their biggest fear in the process. Exactly 5 months after the stunts my parents pulled. The investments I was managing matured exactly as I had projected and met the required target on returns. My 3 biggest clients saw returns of 8 times their initial investments, 8 times. Total portfolio value, $65 million. My agreed percentage, 10%. My payment, $6.5 million. The largest payday of my career. Financial security I had worked a decade to achieve. Just one of my clients was so impressed with the returns that he gave me an additional gift, a piece of landed property. Prime location, currently valued at $80,000, but there was news breaking about major development in that area. The value was projected to triple within 2 years. He knew this, wanted to reward my insight and expertise with an asset that would appreciate significantly. I now owned property, investment portfolios, passive income streams. Everything my parents said would never happen was happening. Meanwhile, I was watching something else unfold. I checked the family restaurant's social media occasionally, not out of concern, out of curiosity. The reviews were declining rapidly. Customer complaints everywhere. Former employees were posting on LinkedIn about the toxic work environment, about being fired for disagreeing with management decisions. Lauren had systematically replaced experienced staff with inexperienced friends she could control. People who would not question her terrible ideas. She was running experiments with the menu, a decision that didn't go well with loyal customers who had come to the restaurant for 20 years. The business was hemorrhaging money, both branches struggling. My father's life work being destroyed by the golden child they had chosen over me. Tell me I'm not crazy for thinking that they deserve exactly what is happening to them. They took my money to save their business. then immediately gave it to my sister who's destroying it. Drop a comment. Then the news broke about my banking deal. Business publications ran the story. Rising star in portfolio management secures major banking contract. My name, my photo, my credentials. All published for everyone to see. $5 million contract. Public validation. Industry recognition. Everything they said I would never achieve. My phone started ringing within hours. My parents. Dozens of calls. Text messages. We need to talk about the family business. Lauren needs guidance. You have experience now. Call us back. This is important. No apologies. No acknowledgement of what they had done. Just demands disguised as requests. Acting like they had a right to my help. Like nothing had happened at that dinner 5 months ago. I let every call go to voicemail. The messages got more desperate. My father. The restaurant is losing customers. We need your expertise. My mother. Family should help family in time of needs. Don't be selfish. Lauren. I made some mistakes, but I'm learning. You could consult for us. Consult for them. After calling me an errand girl. I watched the restaurants decline through public reviews and social media. Watched their panic grow through increasingly frantic voicemails. The business my father had built over decades was dying. Because they had given it to someone who had no idea how to run it. Because they had chosen favoritism over competence. The calls continued. 47 times in 1 week. Finally, my father left a voicemail that made my blood go cold. Kimberly, this is serious. The restaurant is facing bankruptcy. We need a family meeting. You have the resources to save this. Don't be selfish. Selfish? The same man who took my emergency money. Used it to save a business. Then immediately gave that business to my sister while telling me I could work under her if I behaved. Now I was selfish for not saving them from the consequences of their own choices. I won't be part of this manipulation. My phone buzzed. Text from Lauren. We need to talk. Dad says you're being difficult. The family business is more important than your pride. I stared at that message. Read it 3 times. The audacity. The entitlement. The complete lack of self-awareness. They had given her everything. Supported her every whim. Handed her a successful business on a silver platter. And she had destroyed it in 5 months. Now she was lecturing me about pride. I started typing my response. The response that would end this chapter forever. Not emotional, not angry. Just clear, definitive. I hit send on the message that would draw the line they should never have crossed. My phone started ringing immediately. All 3 of them calling at once. I smiled, and I answered, but not the way they wanted. I sent my response to the family group chat, where everyone would see it. My parents, Lauren, extended family members who were included. I received your messages about saving the family restaurant. I'm declining. My father called within seconds. I answered. Put it on speaker. How can you let the family business die? His voice was shaking with rage and panic. The same way you let me build my career alone. That's completely different. No. It's exactly the same. You made a choice. You chose Lauren. You gave her everything. I'm respecting that choice by staying out of it. My mother grabbed the phone. We gave you opportunities, Kimberly. We raised you. You raised me to know I wasn't good enough. You took my emergency money, used it, then gave my inheritance to Lauren while telling me I could work under her if I behaved. Those were your choices. That's different. Lauren needed support. And I didn't? When I was building my career from nothing? When I was working 3 jobs to pay for my certifications while you funded Lauren's tours across Europe? My father was back on the line. This is about the family legacy. Your grandfather built this restaurant. Then you should have given it to someone capable of running it. Lauren destroyed it in 5 months. That's not my fault. That's yours. Lauren's text came through on the group chat. You're being petty. This is about family. I replied publicly. One where everyone in the family would see. Family doesn't take your money then mock your career at dinner. Family doesn't call you an errand girl then expect you to save them when their golden child fails. You made your choice. Live with it. My father's voice was desperate now. You would let us lose everything? I paused. Let the question hang, because I know how manipulative that is. The way you let me struggle alone for 10 years? Yes. Absolutely yes. I hung up, blocked their numbers. The restaurant was on the verge of bankruptcy within the next 3 months. Lauren had driven it into the ground totally. My parents were facing the loss of everything my grandfather had built. Despite everything they did, I wasn't comfortable watching this happen, though I don't owe assistance to people that didn't care nor believe in me. But I also wasn't cruel. I decided I had to do something real fast. I arranged something through one of my business contacts, a private investment firm willing to provide emergency funding to save the restaurant. The loan came with strict conditions. Lauren could not manage operations until she completed proper training in customer relations and business management. Professional managers would run the restaurant during her training period. All experienced staff she had fired would be rehired with right compensation and apologies. My parents accepted. They had no choice. The firm never revealed I was behind the funding. My parents thought some investors saw potential in the restaurant's legacy. They never knew their daughter, the one they had dismissed, was the one who saved them. I watched from a distance as the restaurant stabilized, as Lauren actually went to culinary school and business management courses, as she learned what real work looked like. My parents' anniversary was coming up. 40 years of marriage. I showed up at their house unannounced. First time in 8 months. My father opened the door, shock on his face. Kimberly, I have an anniversary gift for you. I handed him the documents, the loan paperwork, with a letter from the investment firm stating the full amount had been forgiven, paid in full by an anonymous benefactor. My father read it, then read it again. His hands were shaking. The restaurant is yours again. Free and clear. No debt. My mother came to the door, saw the papers and started crying. Why? My father asked. After everything we did? Because I'm better than the daughter you thought I was. Better than the errand girl you labeled me. I'm the daughter who saves her family even when they don't deserve it, and I don't regret doing that. Lauren appeared behind them. She had completed 6 months of training, looked humbled in a way I had never seen. I'm sorry, she said quietly, for everything. I nodded. I know. The training program told me you've been working hard. Keep it up. My mother reached for me. We were wrong about you. So wrong. Yes, you were. But that doesn't mean I want to watch you lose everything. I paused. I'm not doing this to forget what happened, because to be honest, I was really hurt. But I'm doing this because family means something to me, even when it didn't mean anything to you. My career continued thriving, more high-profile clients, property portfolio expanding, featured in business magazines, invited to speak at conferences. Everything they said would never happen. The difference now was that my parents finally saw it. Finally understood who I had become while they were busy betting on the wrong daughter. They learned their lesson not through cruelty, but through grace they didn't earn. And sometimes, that's the most powerful lesson of all. Thanks for listening to the end. If you have ever been the overlooked child while parents poured everything into the golden child, remember this. Their lack of belief in you doesn't define your potential. You can succeed beyond their expectations and still choose grace over vengeance. Sometimes the greatest power is showing them who you really are. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories about proving doubters wrong, choosing grace over cruelty, and teaching lessons through unexpected kindness. Thank you once again.